From a reality-bending dream to aliens and a mimic, here's what you missed last week on my TikTok. What's up, glitches, and welcome back to Spooky Story Time. If you're new here, my name is Jess. People call me Auntie Matrix, and I read your weird and unexplainable stories. All the stories that we read here are true stories that real people send in. So if you're into stuff like glitches in the Matrix, the paranormal, dreams, and aliens, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video. Also, make sure to check out my Auntie Matrix merch and all of my other links over at TcV&x.com. The link is down in the description. All the stories that you are about to see were posted last week over on my TikTok, and I've put together a little compilation for you. If you're looking to skip to a specific story, the timestamps are in the description as well. Grab your favorite snack, a comfort item to squeeze, and let's get weird. Let's read some Glitch in the Matrix stories, part 228. Whole family reality bending dream. Hi, Auntie Matrix. Hi! This actually happened to my family last night / this morning. For context, I'm currently staying at a friend's house to watch their dog, so I was not home last night and my son sleeps in his own room with a baby monitor. I called my fiance this morning to see how the morning went. He told me that he was in another dimension last night. I asked him to explain, and he said he has been having dreams that he is following / trying to find these skinwalker-like figures in our house. Oh my God, I said it. These dreams have been going on for a few weeks, and last night he found that they are living in a crawl space under our house, which can be entered from a tunnel in the ravine. This creeped me out because how our house / neighborhood is set up, this is actually probable. Oh my God, I have chills right now. He explained that he is going through the house. Every time he enters a door, he thinks he's going to wake up from the dream, but instead, each door he goes through, the dreams are getting more and more realistic to the point that he cannot determine if it is dream or reality. Finally, he goes into our bedroom and falls asleep. I walk into the bedroom and tell him that I wasn't able to sleep at our friend's house. We have a short conversation. He checks his phone and it's 4:15. However, as he's trying to fall back asleep, he realizes that is not me talking to him because it doesn't smell like me. He woke up after this and his nose was bleeding and he felt as if his heart was beating fast and slow at the same time. He said he had no perception of how time was moving or if he was even awake or sleeping. He said it felt like if he hadn't woken up from the dream, he would have died. What? Here's the weird part. Right as he was waking up and cleaning up his bloody nose, my son wakes up and stands straight up and says, "I can't see," clear as day without any sleep in his voice. I woke up at my friend's house at the exact same time because I checked my phone for the time, then received the motion notification on my son's baby monitor. So all three of us in different rooms / different locations were woken up at the exact same time after my fiance had a dream of something living in our house mimicking me. Oh my God, I definitely have chills. This one definitely gave me chills. Okay, I know you said it happened last night, but it didn't happen actually last night because this is a couple of weeks old or days old. I'm not sure exactly what the date was on it, but it's definitely not just last night. So I need to know, are you guys okay? What's going on? Is he still having these dreams? Has anything else happened? That is so super crazy and scary. Then not only was he having this dream, right? Not only was he having these dreams, and it's like this repeating dream of him trying to find these skinwalker things, but he wakes up with a bloody fucking nose, not knowing what the time is like, how the time is moving, and his heart is beating fast and slow at the same time. I can't even imagine. What does that feel? I would have to think that maybe that feels like your heart is beating really slow, but then maybe you're also feeling palpitations or something at this. I don't know, but your nose was bleeding? Does he normally get nosebleeds? And is your son okay? Why did he say I can't see? Can he see? Can he see now? This is all really freaking me out, man. I need to know, are you guys okay? What's going on? Something needs to be done. You need to get these things out of this house because even the fact that you said that's a probable thing that they're getting in that way. Not that I think that they need to get in a certain way, but just in general like that. I feel like something needs to be done. Tell it to get out. Tell it or them or whatever to get out. Get a priest. I don't know, man. I don't know. So we have an update on part 228. It was the reality bending dream story that I read. I'm going to link it down here for you guys to go watch if you want. I'm also just going to give you a short synopsis here. I tried to include it in this video, but TikTok wouldn't push it out. It just sat there. They didn't let you see it. And I can't read it again for you because they're censoring me right now, so they won't let you see it. So I'm going to kind of give you the gist of the story, a little rundown, and then I'm going to add the video from the person after this, because the person whose story this is, she actually made a video and tagged me in it answering all the questions that I had at the end of the video, which I thought was like super cool. And it was even more super cool that I saw that, because I get tagged in so many things and I miss so many because I physically can't see them all. So, but I saw that one and I'm very excited that I was able to see it and I'm able to share it with you, because I know that we love updates to a story. So the person who sent the story in, she's a woman, she has a husband and a small son. So her husband apparently says that he's been having these dreams for weeks now, that he's following these like skinwalker type creatures around his house, and he's trying to figure out where they're coming from. And he finds out that they're living in a crawl space in their house, and it's connected to a ravine, and that's how they're getting in. Now, the creepy part about that is apparently the way that their stuff is set up, that's actually possible. And they do have a crawl space and they do have a ravine. So this night that she's talking about, she's sleeping in a friend's house because she's house sitting. So he's home alone with the child. They're both asleep. It's the night. He's having this dream. He's going through the house in this dream, and he's opening all these doors trying to find it, right? He's trying to find these things. And so every door he opens, he thinks he's going to wake up, but he doesn't wake up. It actually gets more and more realistic. Every door makes it more and more realistic to the point where he doesn't know if he's dreaming or not anymore. Then he goes into their bedroom in the dream, falls asleep. Apparently she comes in, wakes him up, says, "I couldn't sleep, so I came home." They have a short conversation. He looks at his phone. It's 4:15 a.m. As he's trying to fall back asleep, he says he realizes that's not her because it doesn't smell like her. He wakes up now for real. His nose is bleeding, and he said he felt as if his heart was beating fast and slow at the same time. He had no perception of how time was moving, if he was awake or if he was sleeping. It was crazy. He said that he feels like if he didn't wake up from the dream, that he would have been unalived, like in real life. When he wakes up, the son wakes up at exactly the same time and says, "I can't see." And also at the exact same time, she wakes up at the friend's house, and she knows it's the exact same time because she woke up, looked at her phone, and it was 4:15. So all three of them wake up at the exact same time when he wakes up from this dream. I obviously had a lot of questions, like, does he get nosebleeds a lot? That was my big question. So here's a video from her answering that question and a bunch of other questions that I had asked in the video, or that I guess she had seen in the comments. Here it is. Some more answers to your questions. Okay. I love you. Bye.
Hi, Auntie Matrix. That was my story that you read, and thank you so much for posting it. I definitely wanted it to reach more people just to get some answers, but I was scared when I posted it. But after seeing the video and then reading the comments, I'm absolutely terrified. So thanks for that. So I wanted to answer some questions that you had, and then that like some of the commenters had. So as far as like how his heart felt, he said it felt like his heart was beating super fast, but it felt like periodically it was being hit really hard with, like he said, a baseball bat. But I imagine like your heart beating fast and then there's like another beat, if that makes any sense. As far as if he usually gets nosebleeds, no. I've never seen him have a nosebleed. So that was something completely out of the ordinary. And I thought, when he said it didn't smell like me, I thought, oh, that's so sweet, because like you know what your partner's smell is like. So I didn't know if it was, you know, he knew that it wasn't me laying in the bed, or if like he was smelling blood. I couldn't tell. But yeah, normally he doesn't get nosebleeds. My baby is fine. I think personally that he was also having a dream, and in his dream he couldn't see, or he was having a dream and he woke up and maybe his eyes weren't open yet. But when he got up, he was perfectly fine. You know, he sees fine now. He does tend to fight sleep, so you know it's kind of nothing out of the norm. But my fiance, he typically goes to bed about 10 o'clock at night, and ever since this happened, he cannot sleep. And I've been out of town, so I thought, oh, you can't sleep because I'm not home. No. He said he can't sleep because he keeps having very weird dreams. Not as scary as the one that he had, but also just very odd dreams. So I don't know what that's all about. Like I said, I wasn't scared before, and I've been out of town, so today's like my first day home since being out of town, and I've got a simmer pot burning, and I'm gonna do some Palo Santo. Any other recommendations would be awesome. I was gonna show you where the crawl space is, but I am just a little bit spooked right now, but I will show you where the ravine is and like how the house is set up. So this right here is my garage, which goes directly into my basement. There's a door in between the garage and the basement that's just like a little crawl space, and then that is the ravine. And at the bottom there's a big giant pipe where all the water comes out and it goes all the way down here. So like I said, it's definitely probable and very, very spooky. So yeah, nothing has happened since. We're all a little on edge, but I've only been home for 2 nights, so I will keep you updated if anything else happens. Thank you.
Let's read some Glitch in the Matrix stories, part 229. The ghost in our stairs. Hi, Auntie Matrix. Hi! I feel like I'm still crazy after what happened, but your page makes me feel better. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. This is kind of a long one. Grab a snack. Last year, me and my husband moved into our first home at just 19 and 20 with our son, who was around 7 months at the time. It was a 2-story townhouse. Everything was good for the first month of our move-in, and then weird things kept happening. Now, I'm not one who believes in ghosts that much. I mean, I believe they only hang out in places that they have died, or old abandoned places, or just places their souls have been trapped in, so I've never expected to experience a haunting. In month 2, I started to feel like somebody was always watching me, but every time I looked around, nobody was outside or in my house. I played it off as just being a first-time mom, anxiety of being in a new house on my own, especially at night. My husband works from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., but the feeling never went away. It got worse when I would walk up or down our stairs. As I'd walk up the stairs, it felt like there was someone at the bottom of the stairs hiding behind the railing with their hands and eyes peeking around. Of course, I'd snap look back, but never was there anything. As the months went on, the feeling got worse. The spirit, I guess, would run up the stairs past me, and it was like I could feel him either touch me or even a little go through me. He'd then wait upstairs until I'd walk back down, but again, he'd stand at the top of the stairs and watch me walk down. The feeling of what he was doing was so strong I could envision it as if he was really there, but never could see him when I looked at the place he was standing. Anyways, one day my husband broke down and told me how he feels he's going crazy and told me everything that I just said. Yes, we didn't bring it up to each other until 6 months in because we both thought we were crazy. I told him how I feel it too, but this seemed to make this spirit angry. Oh no! The spirit started to hide in our son's room behind his bedroom door. My son started to have nightmares and we had to make him sleep in our room. But the ghost didn't like that. He started to sit in our room on the built-in shelf in our room that was over the stairs. One morning I woke up to my bedroom door open when we always have it closed so our son doesn't get out and fall down the stairs. I looked at my son's bed and he was gone. I felt sick and scared just that something was off, and just as I jumped up, I heard my son falling down the stairs. Oh my God! There was no way my son could open that door because he was 1 and the handle was higher than normal handles. That's why we took that house. So we believed it was the spirit. Anyway, me and my husband ran to his assistant. Thankfully, he was okay, just a scratch and a bit lip. I don't know how he wasn't hurt more than that with how our stairs are hard wood. I could feel the spirit watching us and smiling, even laughing. And that was my last straw. We started looking for a new house. Oh my God, thank God. We slept downstairs for the rest of our stay and never let our son up there again. But the ghost didn't stop. My husband ended up falling down the stairs right after he said the ghost seems mad. He fell more back and slid. He was all right besides the fear and bruising on his back. Oh my God, get out, get out, get out. Then comes me. One day I'm home alone with my son. I was upstairs to start packing for our move. I nearly brought my son up there to put him in his cot because I don't like leaving him alone asleep downstairs, but I'm thankful that I didn't, because when I would have walked down the stairs, I would have taken him down there with me in my arms. After packing my stuff, I get to the very top of our stairs and I feel weird. I feel cold and odd, kind of like I was 2 people. I remember saying just go past me to the ghost, but it seemed like he just stood back behind me. As I went to put my foot on the first step, he shoved me. The bloody ghost shoved me. I went tumbling, but there was no way I could stop even when I grabbed the railing. I somehow got to my feet, but I had no choice but to run down the stairs instead of tumbling and banging my head. But I couldn't stop. I ended up smashing my head into the front door, leaving a hole, and then falling to the ground. Holy moly. My body was completely sore. I couldn't move it. I felt like I was a soul trapped in a statue. As I'm laying there, the ghost was sitting on the stairs laughing. It took everything in me to get up. I had to call my mother-in-law because my son was home and I didn't know how bad my damage was. I had to drag myself around the living room to find my phone because I threw it when I was going down the stairs. As my mother-in-law picks up, I hear my son's voice in the background asking for me. I look at the couch and my son was never home with me that day. He was never there. What? I ended up okay, very bruised up. I could barely walk for a month, but no long-term injury. We moved out 2 weeks later. I don't know what truly that spirit was. I don't know why he was there or why he was out for us. I also don't know why I saw my son on the couch that night when he wasn't home all day. But I'm grateful we are out of there and that we are safe. The only thing that seems right to me is it was a spirit, but I don't know why he was always on the stairs. What are your thoughts? Thank you for reading this. Talking about it makes it feel less scary, and your page has made me feel less alone. I'm so happy. I'm so glad that makes you feel that. But holy cannoli. You can't see it, but I just did a whole spin. In the beginning, I was wondering, like, how are you, like, knowing that this spirit is here if you're not seeing it? I know you're feeling it, but maybe it's in your head. Not trying to discredit anything, but, you know, my brain always obviously goes to, like, a logical explanation first to rule anything out. But then this thing started literally pushing you guys down the freaking stairs. Like, what the fuck? This thing was on the stairs. It had to, like, I wonder if you were able to, like, look at the history of the house. I feel like it had to be a spirit that was, like, maybe pushed down the stairs itself. Like, maybe someone pushed that person down the stairs and that's how they died, and now their spirit is angry and stuck there and pushing everyone down the stairs. I would say maybe also it was some sort of malevolent being or demon or something, if it was being so mean. But I'm not sure which one it could be. I also want to know, like, when you talk about the fact that it was laughing at you, how did you know that? Like, was there a point in which you did start to actually physically see it, or were you still just sensing and somehow kind of just knowing? Either way, I am so glad that you guys are okay, that your baby is okay, that you guys are okay. I am so glad that you were able to get out of that house, because you know what? A lot of people don't have that option. You know, everyone sees these stories and hears these stories, including myself included, and you're like, why the fuck are you still in the goddamn house? Get out of the fucking house. But you know what? Some people can't get out of the house. Some people just literally can't. They have nowhere else to go. So I'm really, really happy that you were able to get out of the house and that everybody is okay and that nothing seems to have followed you to your new house. Holy shit though, man. That was a good one. Oh my God, wait. And how did I even skip over the part where your son wasn't there? Why did you think he was there if he wasn't there? Like, he's your son, you would think you would know where he was. Like, in my brain, I'm wondering, like, was he there and something intervened and moved him somewhere else? I don't know. Like, that part is baffling me. What do you guys think? Let's read some Glitch in the Matrix stories, part 230. Did I slip through a hole in time? Hi, Auntie Matrix. Hi! Sorry for the long one, but I can't sleep because of this and I need to tell you everything. Yes, tell us everything! I've been viewing your stories for a while, but I never had one of my own until today. I was riding in a large black SUV to a meeting today. It's not the kind of cars I usually get, and something about it felt off. The man driving it was a man with darker skin and hair that had gone gray, and he was wearing some formal clothing. His looks are important for later. The drive immediately felt off because the car was the kind that they used to move diplomats, the kind that you see the president ride in, and I had no clue that this was the car that was being sent. Now that I reflect on it, it also didn't have a license plate that I remember, which is probably a red flag to say I shouldn't have got in, but I just didn't notice it at the time. There was a couple standing outside the hotel after I got in the car, and they were staring at me the whole time, not moving except their heads as they watched me leave. It just didn't feel right. The drive was entirely fine, and I wasn't paying attention too hard to anything. The driver was not talkative at all. He didn't say anything to me, but he was playing some classical music over the radio. Later into the drive, he had made a turn down a side residential kind of street. It was only 2 lanes. I wondered why we were taking back roads when the highway would have been faster. The road was lined on both sides by modern large houses, the kind they built to look like old Mediterranean houses with the brown stucco and the red tile roofs. I don't like this. I don't like it. Up ahead, there was a large crew of men doing some landscaping, and there was one of those wood choppers the size of a car going at full speed. They were blocking our lane, so he swerved into the other lane to go around them. This is where things get weird. I look out the window and see a house, but it is a really, really strange house. The best way I can describe it is like something people back in the 1960s thought was modern. The whole thing was pink and peach with lots and lots of windows and very boxy and only 1 floor. Out front, I noticed that in the driveway was a car from a similar era. It looked like one of those early 1970 boxy square kind of sedans. Just as I am thinking, man, that's weird that one house is different from everything else, I turn to look ahead at the highway bridge going over the road, and my whole body has a shock realization. The car was stopped and everything was silent. The wood chipper wasn't there anymore. There was another brand new looking 1970s sedan pulling out in front of us, which is why I assumed my driver was stopped. The radio was turned off. I then looked to my driver and it wasn't the same man. No. This guy I was younger, had black hair, and lighter skin. I had maybe 10 seconds to process what was going on before we pulled forward under the bridge and everything was back to normal. The radio was back on, my driver was in the seat, and I could hear the wood chipper behind us. I will never hear Fur Elise the same way again. I have proof that I was at my meeting. I had sent myself images I needed in an email, but I don't have any sort of receipt or confirmation from the drive there, but I have the receipt for the return trip. What the heck happened? Maybe you or someone else might know. Anyways, thank you so much, Auntie, for letting me babble. Love your content and can't wait to see your lives and videos again. I love you too. Oh my God, that was so cool. It sounds like you literally hopped into another timeline for a second. Like maybe you went through like a really quick portal for a second and you were just in the 1960s or 70s for a minute and then you hopped right back in after you passed the bridge. Or maybe for some reason that area, the thinning between a few timelines or just time in general was fucked up. So you were kind of like seeing around you in a different time for a minute. I don't know, man, but that was a really cool story. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's read some Glitch in the Matrix stories, part 231, my alien story. So when my mother was towards the end of her pregnancy with me, she had a dream that she was abducted by aliens. They replaced her baby with an alien baby and told her not to worry. No one would be able to tell that anything was off about me and I would just be gathering intel so that hopefully we could one day integrate races. What? It became a running joke in the family that I really was an alien because I'm relatively normal, but there are some things about me that just seem weird, like I can't stand gravy in a family of gravy lovers. LOL. That was all fine and good until one night in my 20s. I don't remember exactly when, it's been a while now. I had a dream that the aliens came back and took me up for a check-in. The entire dream was in another language that I definitely don't speak and I don't even know how to explain. I spent the whole time at a computer of sorts, similar but different to ours here on Earth, just writing up reports, again in another language, and with people coming by to say hi and see how I was liking Earth. Oh my God. I know I said Earth was great, I was being treated well, and no one seemed to suspect that I was really an alien despite the joking. Again, I'll repeat, in the dream, I spoke and understood an entirely different language. At the end of the dream, everyone told me goodbye and that they would see me at my next check-in. I haven't had another dream like that, but if check-ins are spaced out similarly, I expect another one anytime in the next few years now that I am 41. So yeah, I guess I might be an alien. Oh my God. This is so crazy. I wonder how many like alien babies there are just like around Earth gathering intel and then going for check-ins. I love that it's because they want to integrate races though, because you know, they have to check on us and see how we're doing since we're the only assholes that wouldn't be open to integrating races, alien races with ours. We can't even fucking accept all of our own races. I really like want more explanation on like what did this computer look like and like what was this language like? I know you don't even know how to explain it, but like was it a spoken language? So like, could you hear it with your ears or was it more of like a telepathic thing? Was it not words? Was it maybe sounds? Like sounds? You know, like in some movies, they show alien languages like with like some like clicks and weird sound. You said you were reading it too. So then how was it written? Were they like weird symbols? Like what? I'm like so interested in this language. This is really, really cool. And I'm wondering like, why did they allow, because normally if things happens with aliens, a lot of the time they will erase your memory of it, right? So I wonder why the mom was allowed to remember that dream and you were also allowed to, maybe because it wasn't traumatic and it was okay and maybe you're supposed to like know on some level. I don't really. This was a totally cool story. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's read some Glitch in the Matrix stories, part 232. Current mimic and something else in the home. Hi, Auntie Matrix. Hi! Love your videos. I love yours. I mean, I don't know what I'm hoping mine will make it to a video because I'd love to know your thoughts. Buckle up. Here we go. I've always been spiritual, even more so in the last few years. I've sensed energies and felt the presence of things that can't be seen. We cleanse our home regularly. In September 2023, we moved homes, cleansed before we moved our stuff, and the energy has always felt good. Recently, we've been experiencing some odd things happening around the home. Toilet lids closing, cabinets making sounds. Our cats have been on extremely high alert. 2 weeks ago is when things things really started getting weird. The first thing that happened was one night I was pulling my tarot cards for the week and I felt a presence in the room behind me. It didn't feel heavy or anything, but my cat, who was always near me, was just glaring above me, and I felt a whoosh and then saw my cat's head dart in the direction I felt something go, and she stayed focused on the corner for a good 20 minutes. Then the lights flickered that only my husband could see a day or two later. We live in Northern California, so when it's warm and everyone has their air on, sometimes electricity surges. He had been noticing it in multiple rooms, and as he was coming out of the bathroom, he said, "It's so weird, the power has been surging like crazy today." And I told him that I hadn't seen any surges at all that day. I'm home 95% of the day. He told me that just while he was in the bathroom, it had done it, and I told him that it hadn't done anything in the room that the bathroom is in. My youngest son is on the spectrum and nonverbal. One night he got super emotional and did what we call his heartbroken cry off and on for a few hours. Since he doesn't speak, he couldn't tell us what was wrong, just really sad lip quivering crying for a few hours. Oh. Following this emotional breakdown for 3 days, he refused to leave our bedroom. On day 2 of this, my husband and I were talking and I was explaining how the furthest he'd gone out of the bedroom was standing in the doorway to our room. He looks at me like I was crazy and said, "What do you mean? I saw him in the den." The den is the furthest area from our room, running towards the kitchen when the kids walked in the house. Mimic. And I just stared at him. I told him that me and our son were in the bedroom with the doors shut when they all got home. It definitely wasn't him. He thought I was joking with him and asked our oldest if he saw his brother when they got home. My oldest confirmed that my youngest was not in the den or kitchen, that he came into our room when they got home, and my youngest was with me. Oh my God, so it was only showing itself to the dad. We have cameras throughout our house, most of them record, and alarms on every door to help with safety for our youngest as he elopes, tries to get out. I thought elopes meant to like go get married. I'm confused. It's okay, we got the gist. The next day I was thinking about the situation with my husband and I thought, I wonder what the cameras caught. I pulled up the recordings and there was no activity recorded on any camera since 11:50 p.m. the night before my husband saw our son, which would have been the night my son had his emotional breakdown. Okay, what the fuck? Our cameras haven't worked correctly since this was noticed, was up at our previous home for 2 years and only didn't record/work if they were unplugged. I'm currently having to reset them often, daily, and even that doesn't help sometimes. Energy fucks with electronics, man. In the afternoon of me seeing the cameras not recording, I left to pick up my older kids from their early release day. My husband had gotten home early from work and stayed home while I left so that he could relax. As I'm waiting for my oldest to get out of school, we were at his school miles from our house. I received a text from my husband saying that he felt I needed to cleanse that night and he'd explain to me why when I got home. How are you just gonna say I'll just explain to you later? I was thinking the same thing. Anyway, I get home and my husband is just looking at me. I ask him what, and he said, "I heard you guys get home. I heard the door open with the chirp/alarm, and I heard the kids laughing and talking and shuffling around with their backpacks. It got quiet and I thought they were messing with me, so I got up off the couch and I looked for them and there was nothing. I looked at your location and it said that you were all at the school." I'm shook at this point. Yeah. That night I had planned to do a deep cleanse of the house. My husband had a friend coming over and I was going to wait until after he left. The time he was supposed to be here kept getting later and later, and I was like, fuck it, I'm cleansing now. I'm not going to wait because I want to get this done and I don't want it to be too late after he leaves. My husband and I cleansed the house, salt the entryways, and we're good to go. I kid you not, as soon as we finished, my husband's friend said, "I'm 2 minutes out." After he arrives, he tells us the bizarre chain of events that had prevented him from being there 1.5 hours earlier. Needed gas, card wouldn't work multiple times at multiple places, tried calling the bank and his phone wouldn't work, tried getting a hold of his younger brother, phone wasn't working, and showed the locations had been shut off. Like, what was going on? It was all so weird how this played out. Everything was quiet for a few days. Last week, I was in my room with my youngest and my daughter, middle. My door was shut and my oldest was talking to me through the door. He was asking me something and I was having a mini conversation with him. The last thing he asked, I didn't hear what he said, so I went out of my room into his and I asked what he had said to me because I didn't hear him. Him and his friend were just staring at me. I said, "I didn't hear the last thing you said. What was it?" His response, "Bro, what? I didn't say anything to you." I was like, "Are you messing with me?" Because we just had a conversation and he told me he said literally nothing to me. I asked my daughter and she said she heard him talking to me as well. Okay, at least your daughter heard it too this time. I also have been seeing white figures out of the corner of my eyes lately. Nothing feels negative or dark. I'm just trying to figure out what could be going on. Me personally, I think there are two different entities, the mimic and something else. My husband thinks they're the same thing. Part of me thinks that whatever it is feels safe to show itself at our new home. Our old home wasn't bad inside, but there was all types types of different energies around us. From what I've researched on mimics, they're not good, but I don't feel that this is bad. Or is this actually bad, but giving me a false sense of safety from it? I'm so confused and I'm not sure what to do. Okay, I was going to say that I feel like there are two entities in your house. This is just my opinion. The mimic and a good entity or a good being or a good spirit, because I feel like the reason that your husband's friend couldn't get to you guys for like an hour and a half is because you were supposed to cleanse the house. Like maybe shit was getting really bad and you needed to cleanse the house and you were going to wait until the friend was gone, but maybe like something bad would have happened when he was here or in that time frame just in general. So I feel like the good entity or spirit or something kind of intervened in a way and like made it so that your husband's friend couldn't come for a while so that you would just do the cleanse then. That's my thought on that. I'm not really sure if that's accurate. And also because you're saying that you don't feel like it's bad, but I also do feel like perhaps, like you said, maybe the mimic is trying to make you feel comfortable so that you interact more with it so that it can get whatever it wants. I don't even, like, what does it want? I do really, really feel like there's more than one though. There's more than one spirit, and like maybe the mimic is bad and maybe there are other bad ones that I don't know about, but there is something that's trying to help you at the same time. That's just my opinion. I'm not sure, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Have you tried using your words? Have you tried using your words? I know you've cleansed the whole house. Have you used your words and told it to leave? Like literally told it to leave? I'm assuming you have if you're like so used to cleansing, like you definitely have done it a million times before, but I don't, just a thought. I don't know. What do you guys think? Check out some more weird TikToks you guys are tagging me in.
So about 1:30 a.m., I get a notification that there's motion at my mom's house.
Motion detected at the family room.
So when I look at the cameras, I'm looking and I see in the family room, there's like a light. But I instantly think, okay, that's like a spider web, a bug or something. But I keep watching and I notice that this is like floating. It begins to turn into like one solid object and then shit got real. Look at this. WTF.
Now, you know I'll be sleeping this time of night. And you know what makes so bad? It alerted me. And you know what? Usually if I'm in that bed, you know how that light, the camera go on and off every time I pass it? Mm-hmm. You know it's only alerted one time. And this, because you know how the light kept going past it. After it alerted me the first time, it didn't alert me.
Yeah, that's true. It didn't. So the dog was crying. The dog would not come with me. So I had to go in there myself. You know what? I've seen enough episodes of Ghostbusters to go in there and see, you know, what's up. So I can't see it in person. So I can only see it on the camera. So I'm looking on my phone trying to find where it is.
Yeah, I see it. Oh shit, we right at it. Come on, Brandon, get out of here. Come on. It's still in here. It's following me now. Oh fuck no. Oh fuck no. Oh fuck no. Hell no. No, fuck no. It ain't coming back again. Oh fuck no. Go to the light. Maybe they go with Brandon.
At this point, I went in here. I started laying down Bibles. Because you know what? Only God can fix this. And God alone. And then I saw it was some tequila over there on the bar. I said, well, wait a minute.
I'm just trying to get the run, baby.
Let me close these curtains, because you know what? I'm just trying to make sure it's not a light from outside, which I see is clearly not.
Okay, normally I'd be like, you know, a lot of the things that you see, the orbs and stuff, like could actually be like spider webs, or they could be like dust or something a lot of the times, right? What was that? What was that? It literally like changed, like it was like kind of like two balls, kind of like two circles in like this light, and then the two circles kind of came together. What was that?
All right, story time, y'all. I need help. I need to know if I met a witch, a spirit, a demon, a crazy person, something. Y'all just help me. So it's around 7, 8 o'clock, and I pull up at this gas station after work, right? A gas station I always go to. I see a homeless person sitting like 6 feet from the door when you walk into the gas station. She was giving very bohemian vibes, like Erykah Badu vibes, real earthy. She had the lock, she had the shells in her lock, she had like these icy blue gray eyes, chocolate, beautiful fucking skin, and she was much older too. She actually looked a lot like the actress Cicely Tyson. If you don't know who that is, Google her, Commack. So I get out of the car to go get some gas. As soon as I get out of the car, she looked at me and raised her eyebrows and started smiling. So I start to walk over to her because I was about to like go give her a couple dollars. Her presence just felt so warm and inviting and familiar. So I get closer to her and I walk over to say hi, and she says, "The same beautiful tune every time you get on stage, just a different instrument." Fucking what? I said, huh? Excuse me, ma'am? She said, "As soon as you get the song right, you'll finally be able to walk off stage." So I just walked off in confusion, and I was just like, "Okay, ma'am, I'm gonna go ahead and go in this store and grab you something, all right?" She said, "Okay, yeah, that'll be much appreciated. Anything's fine." So I grab her some food, some fruit, snacks, and money, and I put like $10 in the bag, and I bring it out to her. She was super grateful, and she was smiling and happy, and she started eating the food, and I said, "Okay, ma'am, you have a good day." So I was trying to walk away. Right before I tried to walk away, she said, wait. Can you sign your name right here for me?" And she had this old-ass little writing notebook that looked like it was 100 years old with brown tattered paper and falling apart and shit. And she was like, "You mind writing your name right here?" She said, "Yeah, baby, just your autograph right here." So I said, "Yeah, sure." Didn't think nothing of it. And I signed my first name and I put my last initial. So she took it and she was just like, she looked at it for a minute. She was like, "No, that's not it. Your other name." And I was like, "Ma'am, who do you think I am? Like, who do you, like, I'm not a celebrity. I'm a nobody. Like, who do you think?" Like, I think you got the wrong person. Because I thought she just wanted me to, like, just show, she was just showing gratitude and wanted me to sign her name. I don't know, something crazy people do. I don't fucking know. But I was just like, who do you think I am? She was like, "No, just sign your other name. You know which name I'm talking about." I was like, "What?" So I take the booklet and I sign my stage name, the name I go by. So I put Shamar Elian. And I underlined it and I gave it back to her. And she looked at it, she was like, Yeah, that's it." She was like, "Thank you, baby, for being so kind. You'll be okay." So I pump my gas and I go back and sit in the car and I'm just looking at this lady for like 10 minutes because I'm so like weirded out by what the fuck just happened. I'm feeling weird and shit, right? Because I'm really trying to figure it out if she stops anybody else or if anybody else stops her, right? So I'm looking and nobody else is even acknowledging her. She's not acknowledging anyone else. And I know this shit sounds crazy. I know this shit sounds stupid, but bro, like, it's like she wasn't even like she was sitting there for me. I know this shit sound crazy, but I put this shit on everything. I wanted to ask the person at the other pump, like, "Hey, do you see that lady?" But I didn't want to sound crazy. I didn't want to look stupid. Like, "Yeah, duh, I see that lady." Or I was low-key kind of scared he would have said, "No, what lady?" And then I really would have freaked the fuck out. So eventually I pulled off or whatever, but I've been thinking about this shit ever since. And y'all know I'm not religious. I'm not Christian. I've never really had a paranormal activity. I'm not trying to fish. I just want to know if I just met a crazy person or that just really wanted me to write my name in some shit, or did I meet a fucking witch, spirit, demon, angel, ghost, and I don't know. Somebody just fucking help me out because I've been thinking about this shit ever since.
Oh, that one was crazy. Okay, my guess is that was maybe one of your guides. I don't know if it was a guide or an angel or an ancestor, but I feel like it was one of your spiritual helpers. That's why it looked like she wasn't acknowledging anyone else. No one else was acknowledging her, because maybe no one else could see her. Or, you know, maybe they could, but no one else was drawn to her, and you were drawn to her for a reason. She was there for you. Immediately when you said the thing about the same song, that whole quote that she said, that immediately said to me that she's been watching you do this life over and over, and you haven't gotten it right yet. Because as far as I know, right, we are here for a reason. We're supposed to be growing, right? And if we don't learn the lessons we're supposed to learn and we don't do what we're supposed to do, we got to do it again next round. So I feel like maybe she's like, you'll get it. You'll get it eventually. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. If you needed to hear that, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you were having a hard time at that moment and maybe she needed to do that to bring you some peace. Or maybe she did that to spark your spiritual awakening, since you said that you don't believe in anything really. The signing is what is interesting to me. I don't know why she would have you sign your name, but she wanted you to sign your like stage name, which is interesting. I would love people's opinions on that because I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure. That concludes our creepy compilation for today. If you enjoyed this, you might also enjoy catching me live on TikTok where we hang out, read people's stories, and chat about them. We have an awesome community of open, loving, and accepting people where our motto is, we believe you. That community extends to Discord as well. Please come and join us in Discord. You can hang out with like-minded people, and I have an announcements channel where I announce things like when I'm going live on TikTok, when I'm posting a new YouTube video, when I'm dropping new merch. It's just a good place to be. You can get the links to my TikTok, my Discord, and everything else over at TcV&x.com, linked in the description. In the meantime, you might want to keep it going here and check out this video or this playlist.